Good morning. I'm going to revisit a topic that I talked about a little bit ago, but just because it's really that important. Violence solves nothing. There is no problem that we have that violence actually solves. Violence is like cough medicine. It covers up the real problem by treating symptoms. But treating symptoms is not treating the disease. And the disease is not treated through violence. It's not treated through playing around in the material realm, because the problem isn't material. The problem is spiritual. The problem is not, where is my next meal going to come from? The problem is, what is tomorrow going to hold? People can go without a meal for a day. But if people don't have purpose to their life, if tomorrow doesn't have a good reason to exist, then it won't matter if they're fed or not. Either directly through my own interactions or through secondhand accounts, I've myself seen how people from the higher tiers of society on down to the purported dregs, they all are looking for the same thing. Everybody's looking for the same thing, except for those who have already found it in Jesus Christ. Everybody else is looking for the peace of mind, the satisfaction, the purpose that comes from faith in Jesus Christ. To know that your future is secured. Not because of your own work, not because of how good you are, or how much you've achieved, or how much you know, but who you know, and how you responded to the free gift of salvation. How you responded to the grace that God provided, the tugging on your heart, the knocking on the door. The people around you who love you, that are trying to offer you something of infinite value. But because what's being offered isn't material, and because what we can see, what we can touch, what we can feel, it's the reality that we know. We don't think from a natural state that what's being offered to us matters. When we're caught up in the material, when that is the world that we live in, and that's the only world that we recognize, there is no hope. There is no purpose. There is no future. And the reason is because things are just happening. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no plan. There's nothing to explain, ultimately, why anything happens. You look at what's going on right now with quantum mechanics, quantum physics, all that jazz, and what you have, essentially, are people trying to say that something can come from nothing. And the only reason it doesn't is we're still figuring that one out. But that we don't need God. We don't need a supernatural realm. We don't need anything beyond this life. We can find peace and contentment with just what's here in front of us. Until we can't. Until everybody eventually breaks down and realizes that all that they've searched for, all that they've pursued, all that they've done, didn't make a difference. A lot of people are thinking voting one way or another is going to make a difference. Whoever's in office is going to make a difference. If they've got enough bullets and beans and rice stored up, maybe that's going to make a difference. If they live far enough away from everybody else, maybe that's going to make a difference. If they can live in a society that is ethnically homogeneous, religiously homogeneous, sociologically homogeneous, whatever, each of these is a material solution to a spiritual problem. Each of these is seeking to move around the pieces on the chessboard in order to change the mind of the people who are playing the game. It doesn't work that way. This material realm is part of reality. It is real. The things we do here matter, and so we should make good choices, as I've talked about before. But it's not all that there is. And we see that. And we know that. We've got writings from all sorts of people throughout history. Even if you discount the Bible and the book of Ecclesiastes, I want to say off the top of my head. It's possibly wrong, but all is vanity. In history, people who were incredibly wealthy, there was a very clear contrast between them and the people who served them. Slaves, servants, and all that kind of thing. But here's the thing, those people were no more happy than the rich people now. The people who have money and power, affluence, the ability to do everything they think that they want. But it still leaves them empty. Still leaves them searching for a higher purpose. Something outside of them that they can serve. Something outside of them that can provide context. That can affirm that they even exist in the first place. And you're not going to find that in the material world. It's not going to exist. And the big reason for that is entropy, in the general sense. That all the stuff that we have, all of the structures we build, all of the lessons we teach, none of it's going to last. Everything always falls apart in the end. Because none of this stuff was designed to last forever. None of it was meant to last forever. So instead of trying to solve problems the wrong way, let's do it the right way. Instead of focusing on who gets elected, instead of focusing on how much stuff you've got, how many experiences you've experienced, answer the question of who Jesus Christ is to you. Ask yourself what you do with that free gift of salvation. Sort that out first for yourself. And then build from there. Everything else you do is going to be a waste of time. Everything else you do is just going to be delaying the inevitable. And everything else is just not going to do what you think it's going to do. It's not going to be different this time. So respond to Christ. And if you don't know how, just pray simply. God, I don't know. Help me to know. God, I need help. Help me. And he's going to respond. He doesn't want to leave you isolated, alone, drifting. He wants there to be a relationship. But that can't happen if you're still busy trying to solve the problems by your own strength, by what you know, by what you can accomplish. Learn from those around you. The people who have everything still don't have anything that matters. The people who have nothing are still looking. The people who have everything are still looking. Find Jesus and you will stop looking. Take care. God bless.